right, you know what time it is. Live from the Bare Muscle Garage, it's time for Fit Crew. What do we got in store for you today? Let's go ahead and share this on screen. So for today's workout, we've got a nice, simple complex for you here. We're going to be doing Renegade Rows with a push-up. We're going to be doing some farmer carry lunges. Or actually, I'll give you the option to do to hold the dumbbell however you want. But trust me, holding those dumbbells to the side is going to be the easier way to do this. And you may be looking at this thinking, hey, regular push-ups are already hard for me. Rows are kind of difficult. Don't worry, guys. We got you covered. We're going to warm up really well. And we're going to go through all the options that will allow you to do this workout or your version of it, right where you are, using what you have and doing what you can. Well, let's go ahead and start this general warm-up. Here we go. Let's get some arm circles going back, arm circles back. And as you know, my name is Coach Chris. I'm a level 3 CrossFit trainer, which means I've logged thousands of hours over many years, helping many people just like you live their best life through health and fitness. Let's switch to arms across the chest. Hug yourself, love yourself. One of the ways I've been privileged to help you guys live your best life is through the Habit Master Challenge. And have you taken the challenge? Let's move on to the wrist wave here. The Habit Master Challenge is basically where we log our activity. We see exactly how much water, how much sleep, what exactly is in our meals. And then, of course, we log our consistency with our flexi time and our WODs. And when we see all of these X's, then there's no escaping that accountability. We know exactly how consistent we are all across the board. Let's go ahead and move on to some high knees. Chest. And when you log those X's, you have a chance to earn some badges. Some of you have earned the Consistency Crew badge after 20 points. Some of you have earned the Committed Club badge after 60 points. Some of you are Habit Masters, and you've been able to earn that Habit Master badge, which is 100 points of consistency all across all these habits. And so definitely, we're looking forward to hearing from you guys how earning these badges has improved your life. Let's go ahead and move on to some jumping jacks, or we could do some stepping jacks if we want low impact. And so if any of this sounds interesting to you, please click that link that's in this video. We'll give you some more details on how to get on track so you can take on this Habit Master Challenge. You can log those points, earn those badges, and see the power of consistency in your life. Let's go ahead and take a break from this warm-up, guys, and we're going to move on to the activation phase, which is where we're going to do a couple of different moves that are going to help us to get specifically ready for today's workout. The first move that we're going to do is single leg glute bridges, and let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate 2 glute bridges for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then we're going to do some single arm reverse flies like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 single leg glute bridges, 5 on each side. So a couple things to keep in mind. We've got one leg up, the other foot pulled in super close to that hip, and we are squeezing those glutes, getting those hips as high as we can in the air, getting higher and higher each rep. Now, it could be that doing this with one leg is very challenging for us, in which case we could do the traditional glute bridge with both legs. Let's have Twin One demonstrate here. So we're going to pull in both feet to those hips, squeeze those glutes, and then get those hips as high as we can each time. A good job here on these glute bridges, whether it's the single leg or the traditional double leg glute bridge. Next, we're going to roll over and do some plank rows, and let's have Bird Dog demonstrate 2 plank rows for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then that plank row is going to look like this. So let's all join in and let's do 10 plank rows on each arm. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're in a nice tight plank position, hips low, squeezing that gut, keeping that core nice and tight. And then we are shifting that weight and rowing that fist into the chest with the elbow pointing back behind us. Now, it could be that doing this off the ground is a bit of a challenge for us, in which case we could choose to do this off of an incline. Let's have 2 and 1 demonstrate here. We could do this off of a counter, off a wall, off a sofa, or whatever the case. We're going to be in a nice incline plank position and then shifting the weight, rowing the fist into that chest. A good job here on these plank rows, whether we're doing it off the ground or whatever version is good for us. Next, we're going to do some push-ups, and let's go ahead and have Twin 1 demonstrate 2 push-ups for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then those push-ups are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 push-ups together. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're going to be in a nice plank position. Once again, keeping that core nice and tight. And then we're going to lower that chest all the way to the ground, doing a hand release if needed. And then we are going to push all the way back up, keeping the core tight, leading with the torso there so we're not snaking or warming up. If we're struggling to get that full range of motion, then that's fine. We can actually do these push-ups off of an incline, just like we see Bird Dog doing over here, getting that chest all the way down to touch off the incline position and all the way back up. And this incline could be off a sofa, could be off a counter, it could even be off a wall, however much incline is needed for us to get full range of motion, getting that chest to touch. So job here on these push-ups. Next, we're going to do some good mornings. Let's go ahead and have Deb demonstrate 2 good mornings for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the good morning is going to look like this. So let's all join in here and let's do 10 good mornings together. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're going to fold those arms across the chest, and we're going to hinge by sending those hips back, getting that chest to just about parallel with the ground, squeezing the glutes until we get all the way back up to a fully standing position, shoulders back at the top. And so good job here on these good mornings. And finally, here in the activation phase, we're going to do some lunges. And let's go ahead and have Twin 1 demonstrate 2 lunges for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then those lunges are going to look like this. So let's all join in here and let's do 10 lunges together. So a couple things to keep in mind. On the lunge, we're going to take a nice big step forward, slightly to the side for stability until that back knee touches the ground. And notice that we're looking for some knee protection there as well. So whether we've got a lunge mat that we like to lunge over or whether we use knee sleeves, we are looking for that full range of motion to get that knee to the ground. Now, if this is a challenging range of motion for us, we can choose to modify by doing some step ups, just like we see Deb doing here. This could be off a step riser, it could be off a step ladder, maybe even some stairs if that's the most practical solution for us, or any other sturdy object like a footstool or a plyo box. But we're going to get both feet up, full extension at the top, and then we're alternating legs like that. A good job here on these lunges or step ups if that's what we choose to do. Well, that is it for the activation phase. Now we're going to move on to the movement. We're going to practice specifically the two moves that we're doing in today's workout. The first move is a simple complex. It's Renegade rows with a push-up. So what I'd like everyone to do is let's go ahead and grab a light pair of dumbbells. By light, I mean 10 pounds or less, 5 kilos or less. If we don't have a light pair of dumbbells, then let's grab any other light common household. It could be a pair of shoes. It could be a pair of water bottles. It could be a pair of pillows. Anything, as long as it's super light. We always start light before we go heavy, if at all. So with this light object in hand, we're going to do these Renegade rows, starting with a dumbbell push-up. And let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate 2 reps of this complex for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the Renegade row, the push-up is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in here and let's go ahead and do 5 reps of this push-up row. Now, understandably, this could be a very challenging range of motion for some of us. In fact, if we were doing incline push-ups in the warm-up, then that's completely fine. We can choose to do all the push-ups first using whatever incline we need, followed by whatever style row we need. And let's go ahead and have remind us here of what the incline push-up looks like. And so we would get an incline surface there, and we would do all of our push-ups first. And then after we do all of our incline push-ups, we can then move on to either doing the rows off the ground if we can, or we can do bent over rows. If we have a bench or a chair, something along those lines, we're going to get a hand and knee that we can support, looking straight ahead, rowing that dumbbell into the chest. And after we do all the rows on one side, we're going to switch and then do the rows on the other side. But just a couple of reminders, if we are doing this off the ground here, some key points of performance that we're looking for. I'm going to make Twin One suffer through just a couple more reps here. We need to make sure we keep that midline nice and tight. So we're getting all the way down, chest touching, and we are not snaking or worming any of those push-ups. And then that's followed by a row on each side. So as we get fatigued here, instead of going super fast and losing our form, if we end up needing to take a breath or two in between reps, then let's go ahead and do that. Take the time needed so that we can keep that midline nice and tight. The second move that we're doing in today's workout is dumbbell lunges. Preferably, we're holding these to the side in what we call farmer style, but you can technically hold these any way you want. Let's go ahead and have Bird Dog demonstrate 2 farmer style lunges for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then those lunges are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 lunges. And so a couple things to keep in mind here. Like we said before, hey, perhaps we were modifying that lunge by doing step ups in the warm up here. In this case, we can continue to do step ups here, and it'll be up to you if you hold the weight or not, how much weight you want to hold. We're keeping it nice and light right now in the warm up anyway. We're going to get that full extension, shoulders back at the top, alternating that step up leg. Or it could be that if we're close to being able to do the lunges to the ground, but adding the weight is too challenging, we can just choose to do the lunge off the ground without any added weight. And that's another option as well, just like we were doing in the warm-up. And let's have Twin One remind us here what some unweighted lunges look like. So just simply without the weight, take a big step forward, get that knee to the ground. And so this option is preferred if we're able to do this without weight, as opposed to, I just want to hold some dumbbells and let me just do step ups instead. If we're able to do this without pain or discomfort, but the weight is a bit too much, let's consider just doing unweighted lunges today, and that's going to be a better option for us. And so good job here on whatever version of the lunge that we choose to do. Well, now it's ramp up time. If you've been earning badges and you'd like to add some weight to do either the scaled, intermediate, or RX weight on these Renegade rows and these lunges, then let's start to gradually add some weight, doing a couple practice reps of each move at a time. I would say at least 4 to 6 practice reps, adding a little bit of weight each time. We have plenty of time for you to do at least 3 to 4 practice sets. No need to go straight to a super heavy weight. But if we have not been earning badges, or we're just getting back into this after a long time off, then please, let's not add any weight. That super light weight that we were just using in the different phases of the warm-up is going to be more than enough for us today. Seriously. It's very important that we have the right form and consistency with all our habits, as evidenced by earning that badge, before we've earned the right to add or reintroduce intensity, such as by adding weight or going fast. And whether we're adding weight or not, let's pay close attention to the following checklist. Number 1, please make sure your device is fully charged or plugged in so we can get through this whole workout without losing you. Number 2, let's grab some water. Let's take a sip. And let's make sure we got our water nearby so we could take a sip as needed all throughout the workout. Number 3, I'm going to give everyone a 3, 2, 1, go countdown. And that's how you can synchronize your timer with mine if you choose to use one. Number 4, music. Super important. Your playlist is way better than my playlist. I can guarantee you. Your playlist moves you. So, what's on your playlist? What's going to help you to focus, get locked in, and get through this as efficiently as possible? You can blast your music as loud as you want, as long as you can still hear me helping you throughout the workout. And lastly, how are we keeping track of these rounds? This is a 4-round workout, but the reps start high, then they go low, and then we're doing a complex, which is a couple moves in a row in a sequence. It's easy to get lost, guys. You're not alone. But what helps with that is having some type of system in place. Most importantly, having the workout written down close by. So if you're a teacher's pet like Deb, winning the Teacher's Pet Award today, and we got a whole bunch of other teacher's pets as well, hold your whiteboard up to the screen. We're about to take this teacher's pet picture. So here we go, guys. Teacher's pet picture in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. I'm going to bring the workout back on screen one more time here, and then we'll get going. So in just about a minute, we're about to start this timer, and we're about to do this 4-round descending ladder workout, 16, 12, 8, 4 of Renegade Rows with a push-up and dumbbell lunges. So specifically, we're going to do 16 of the dumbbell push-up, followed by a row on each side, followed by 16 total lunges. That's going to be 8 on each leg. And then we're going to do 12 dumbbell push-ups with a row on each side, followed by 12 lunges. Then 8 with a row on each side, followed by 8 total lunges. And then in the last round, 4 dumbbell push-ups, followed by a row on each side, and the 4 lunges. And like we said before, if we need to do incline push-ups, then that's fine. We can choose to do all 16 push-ups first in the first round, followed by whatever style of row that we need to do, whether we choose to do the rows off the ground or if we choose to do the bent over rows. And just remember that the rows are going to be on each arm. The going to be total. So your score is going to be the time it takes you to get through these 4 rounds of descending reps of Renegade Rows, starting with the push-up and the lunges, and of course, any of the options that we presented for each of these. So if you're good to go, give me a thumbs up over here, and we'll get this started. I'm going to give us a 10-second countdown, and then I'm going to highlight 21 to get us going. So here we go, guys. 16 Renegade Rows, starting with a push-up. 16 lunges, and then it's all downhill from there. Starting in 10 seconds. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. And we are off. We got 21. Moving some heavy dumbbells, hitting the push-up, row, row. So every time you complete the rows after that push-up, that is a rep of that complex. We are starting off with 16 of these. Some of us are starting off with 16 push-ups on an incline, followed by 16 rows on each arm. And then, of course, we have as well. And important to note here, if we're doing the incline version, let's remember we're doing all the push-ups first. We're doing 16 push-ups, and then we're going to do our 16 rows on each arm so that we can do the row in the correct way, either the bent over row or if we're doing the row off the ground. But good work here, guys. We are getting through the 16 here, and some who were doing incline push-ups have already made their way to the ground or to the bench. We got Bird Dog choosing to do 16 Renegade Rows each arm off the ground. We've got Bubbles choosing to do some bent over rows, 16 on one side. But nice work here, moving nice and steady. And 16 may seem like a short number, but when we're doing a complex like this, then we realize, hey, that does add up. And we see Bird Dog now deciding to do some bent over rows. Let's just look ahead there, Bird Dog. Make sure we get that spine in alignment. But that's a good example here. We present lots of different options. And if you feel like, hey, I'm going to give some a try off the ground, but I'm going to need to switch to the bent over row at some point, that is completely fine as well. So most of us still working through this set of 16 push-up row, row. And we got Deb already on these 16 step-ups. And so Deb working through these step ups here. We got Bird Dog joining in on the lunges here. Big step forward, slightly to the side, getting that knee to the ground. We got Bubbles. Let's get going, getting that knee protection locked in. Is hitting these lunges off the ground. Big step forward, slightly to the side. And we got Twin One getting locked in on these lunges. Mighty Mouse moving some big dumbbells. And that's another good point as well. It could be like, hey, I can go heavier on some of these moves, but I need to go lighter on some other moves. Then that's fine. Let's go to whatever our circumstances require. Now, if we're holding these dumbbells to the side, something that might help is using that hook grip, because this workout is definitely going to start to get very grippy. We're hitting those push-ups, we're hitting those rows. And so using that hook grip and letting the dumbbells rest on the palm of your hand, the heel of your palm, those are some tips that'll help to take the pressure off the forearms and save that grip. But most of us done with the round of 16, now moving into the round of 12. Hitting that push-up row, or maybe knocking out all the push-ups first. And let's remember, hey, these push-ups can get tiring. Let's move as fast as we need to, but if we need to take an extra break or two in order to keep that midline, completely fine. Definitely want to keep that midline stability. No snakes, no worming. But we are on this here, guys. Hitting these Renegade Rows. And Deb already on the set of 12 step-ups here. Moving nice and steady through the round of 12. We got Bird Dog done with the push-ups, moving on to the rows. At least starting out on the ground each round. And that's something we want to see. We want to progressively challenge ourselves. We want to avoid this all or nothing mentality. Like, you know what? Hey, I can't do all of these off the ground, so let me just do these all off the bench here. If you feel like you're in between options, then what Bird Dog is doing here is a great example. Hitting some off the ground, hitting some off the bench. And Twin One fighting it out, taking strategic breaks as needed in order to keep good form. We're looking for that midline to stay nice and tight, hitting that row. We all have our threshold of how many we can hit in a row. It could be that, hey, we need to go down to quick singles like she's doing here. Hit one, hit a quick rest, and you can get through them pretty quickly before you know it. Bird Dog onto these lunges in the round of 12 here. Bubbles finishing off some rows. Mighty Mouse onto these curls for the lunges in the round of 12. Twin One joining in on this round of 12 fun. And so far, everyone is on track to finish within today's target window. And put simply, the target windows are the best way to know what to pick in order to challenge ourselves progressively and to help us to actually get better. And the way the target windows work, we've got a performance target window, either a time that we want to finish, or in the instance of an AMRAP style workout, an amount of rounds that we want to get done. And so picking the movements and picking the weights that will give us a performance within that performance target window is how we know that we picked the right options for us. And so moving along here in the rounds of 8 and 4, these are what I call the lightning rounds here. The rounds of 16 and 12 probably felt about the same. The round of 8 is where we start to feel some. Now I am moving. I'm getting stuff done, keeping that core nice and tight, getting the full range of motion. In these lower rounds is maybe where we can challenge ourselves to do more of the challenging options, maybe get through all 8 rows off the ground, possibly, if that's what we're trying to do. And if we were perhaps doing unweighted lunges, maybe to add a little bit of weight toward the end here. You know, this is a continual experiment. But we are doing things here, guys. And hey, Deb is doing a thing. Deb has finished toward the lower end of this target window. And we know what to do when we finish. After that victory dance, we cheer on our family. And so we got most everyone finishing off the 8, going into the 4.
Nice one, Bubbles. Nice.
Let's do this here, guys.
Nice, Mighty Mouse. Coach D. Doing your thing, Mama.
Big steps, getting the
oh, nice, Mighty Mouse. We not tired no more, huh?
Those dumbbells don't even look heavy anymore for Mighty Mouse, but she is doing the thing. And Mighty Mouse across the finish line.
Go, best friend.
Finishing the round of 8, moving into this last round of 4. We got Bird Dog.
Oh, nice.
In this last round of 4, Bubbles.
Nice, Bird Dog.
Last round of 4. Everyone's still within the target window.
Nice on Kia.
You got this, guys. You got it.
That is best friend Bubbles doing the most over here.
Yes, representing. Nice,
Hit
Bird
that
Dog.
big step. Bird Dog almost done.
Nice form.
And there goes Bird Dog across the finish line.
Coach D, get it, girl.
We got Twin One picking up these dumbbells for the last time.
Nice. Looking good there. Looking good, as always.
And there goes Twin One across the finish line. And let's cheer on Bubbles here. Best friend Bubbles.
Come on, best friend. Come on. Go, best friend. Nice.
She is almost done. Just hitting some rows and now
nice.
some lunges.
Nice lunges. Oh, beautiful. Nice.
And there goes Bubbles across the finish line. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, that was epic. And now we are ready for the best part, which is the cool down stretch. And this stretch is super important to help us fight soreness, increase flexibility, so we can come back day after day, staying consistent and committed. So the first stretch that we're going to do today is the seal. And that's going to be where we're laying face down on the ground. And then we are going to push up like this, letting that lower back sink into the ground. Or if that's hard on our wrists, we could do this off the elbows like this. And while we're here, let's reflect on the workout. Let's hear a high-low buffalo. So let's hear first from Twin One. And if we're doing this from the seated position, we're getting those arms up and pulling back like this. But what was your high-low buffalo for today's WOD?
So my high were the lunges and the low was the push-up with the Renegade Row. That was really burning for me. But the buffalo was that I try to push myself to go a little faster on it. I'm working on it, but I think I did pretty good.
I would say you did pretty good as well. You managed that fatigue. You kept the whole time doing the push-up with the Renegade Row, but you took the rest you needed to keep that form nice and tight, which is most important. Let's go ahead and switch to the frog. So we're gonna get those hips back, knees out to the side, open up those hips like. And while we're here, let's hear from bird dog. And if we're doing this from the seated position, we're gonna get those hands down to the shoulder blades and pull back like this. But what was your high-low buffalo bird dog?
My high was the lunges. I did a little bit more weight this time than last time, so progress. I felt the burn in that, so that felt good. Low was probably Renegade Row push-ups as well. I think I still got some work to do on my arms, but Buffalo I was able to do more than half of them on the floor, the Renegade Rows, that is. And so, I split the bigger ones with the bent over rows, but definitely proud of myself for challenging and, living up to the challenge.
That you certainly did as well. Progressively pushing yourself, getting lower on the ground as much as you can, doing the bent over rows off the bench when you needed to, and you make progress. Just dipping our toe in the water a little bit at a time. And switch to supine twists. So we're gonna get the one knee into the chest, and then we are twisting, pulling down with that opposite hand like this. And while we're doing this, let's now hear from Bubbles. We asked about the Habit Master Challenge, right? And you're definitely a great example in logging those points, earning those badges, getting the Habit Master badge. You're on a streak right now. So how does this Habit Master Challenge help you to stay on track? And if we're doing this from a seated position, we're just kind of turning toward the right, holding on to whatever we need to.
So, the Habit Master Challenge, it really helps me to just think about what I'm going to do each day. So, and to make healthier choices, wiser choices, and also schedule my time. So in order to be able to knock those X's, I have to schedule time to do the Y's, schedule time to do flexi time, and then make sure I have my water bottle with me so I can drink water throughout the day. And if I'm out for the day, pack my lunch or pack my meals, things like that. So this Habit Master Challenge really does, it's a good challenge because it helps me pay more attention to my health and fitness. And it's helped me get a lot of X's. And I like Maggie, like getting those X's too. But more importantly, I do appreciate seeing all the good benefits and good changes in myself.
Spoken like a true habit master for those great tips and advice. And thank you for your great example. And let's go ahead and switch to the twist on the other side. So we've got the other knee into the chest, and then we are twisting, pulling down with this opposite hand. And while we're on this side, let's hear from Mighty Mouse. And if we're doing this from a seated position, we're twisting toward the left, holding on to whatever we need to. But how does the Habit Master Challenge help you to stay on track?
The Habit Master Challenge, it helped me to stay on track because I look at all the areas I need to work on, and for that day I try to at least put an X somewhere if I don't, because I don't want to go a day go by and don't do anything. So it makes me to, as the days go by, to say, okay, I need to work in this area a little bit more, and so to push myself to put an X on one of the categories, it makes me do better in the future.
Goes, it shows us what we're strong at. It shows us what we could improve on, just one small step at a time. And that's our mentality. We avoid the all or nothing mentality. We just do what we can right now to inch closer and closer to. Well, that's our WOD, that's our stretch, that's our high-low buffalo. Let's hit this sweaty selfie, because does this count if we don't take this selfie? Let's flex on the camera here, guys. And let's sweaty selfie in 3, 2, 1. And crazy face. And let's go ahead and put the fists in the middle for the cheer. On 3, 2 claps. Fit crew. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Fit crew.
CrossFit crew. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed this program, then please give this channel a subscribe, a like, and a share. Thank you very much, and see you next time.